body, every size, every line, every girl, every guy, everybody who don't identify.
Hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Hi, hello. My name is Loey. Today, I want to talk about something a little bit different. This is actually something I'm a little bit late on. To be more precise, I'm like 2 months late. This was something that was very prevalent and kind of a hot topic back in May. I feel like it had to have been something where this was like popping off online right around the time that I was like sick, because I don't know how I missed it. It was actually brought to my attention when I watched Alex Bale's horror short Wanna Be Friends. I'll have it linked down below. It's really creepy and based off of this entire concept, which again, I didn't know was a real thing, but there have been a string of accounts that have mostly quieted down now, all commenting something very similar on everybody's videos. And it's a simple question. Wanna be friends? People who interacted with, responded to, did anything with this comment, "Wanna be friends," ran the risk of their accounts being hacked, compromised, and turned into one of these channels commenting this all over YouTube. I am really excited to talk about this with you guys today. Finally, this has been on like my to-do list for the last few weeks. But before we get into the video, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Native Deodorant. I have been testing out Native Deodorant for a few weeks now, and I'm really excited to have finally made the switch over to a natural deodorant. It is paraben and aluminum free, as well as vegan and cruelty free. The whole reason that I was seeking out a natural deodorant in the first place is that I have super sensitive skin. I tend to get reactions to a lot of products, and deodorant is one of those things where I've never found one that I just loved. Native deodorants have ingredients such as shea butter, so they're a lot more gentle, and I didn't have any kind of crazy reaction to them. My favorite scent is the lavender and rose one. This one smells so good, and I've been using it non-stop. But I also have the charcoal scent. This is like a very light, nice fragrance. And then I also have the eucalyptus and mint, and this just smells like heaven. They dry really quickly. Like I said, I don't get a reaction from them. They smell great. And if you guys want to save 33% on your first Native deodorant pack, you can click on the link in the description box and use my code to get 3 deodorants for only $24. Thanks to Native Deodorant for sponsoring this video, and let's get into the seemingly cursed YouTube comment. Wanna be friends? I think a lot of people heard about this from the YouTuber Evans111, and he seemed to make like the first big viral video on this topic, and then shortly after, my friend Mudahar, Some Ordinary Gamers, made one as well. So you may have already heard of this, but if you haven't, I'll fill you in. There was an account going around YouTube, going to everyone's videos, creators big and small, and leaving a simple question. Wanna be friends?
But it's so much more malicious than it seems on the surface. At first I thought it was an upstart YouTube channel trying to do some marketing, but it quickly dawned on me how much more sinister this situation was. Thousands of people have lost their entire channels from this one innocent comment. It would appear as the first 2 comments on every new video of mine, sometimes before they'd even gone public.
People who interacted with this comment ran the risk of having their entire account compromised. But how could that be the case? It sounds like something straight out of like the warnings your grandparents would give you about the internet, right? Like, don't respond to comments or you'll get hacked. It doesn't seem like it could even be something that would be logical. But nothing about the Logan channel itself was logical. The very first video that this person uploaded got 100,000 views within a day. Now you might be thinking to yourself, if you watch a lot of YouTube, 100,000 views isn't that much. I see people get that many views in a day all the time. But this was like a 1-minute welcome to my channel video that would have had no searchability on YouTube, wasn't going viral in any capacity, wasn't trending, that got 100,000 views off the bat. So already, of course, we're looking a bit suspect, and then add into the equation that this person is going around YouTube asking wannabe friends to like thousands of people. Some of those people end up having their accounts hacked. You've got a pretty eyebrow-raising situation. What Muda explained in his video, and he's really good with like internet security and understanding all of that, is that there are third-party applications, things like vidIQ, which I use on my videos. It's just a tool to help gather analytics, recommend tags for videos, etc. When you use things like that, which are totally safe and fine to use, they get a token which allows them access to certain parts of your YouTube account.
So if you add them to your extensions, right, or your browsers or whatever, let me just show you. If I go to vidIQ and I sign up with my Google account, right, I'm going to connect it with a YouTube channel that I don't use. Not mine, obviously. I'm going to connect it with like another channel that I have. You'll see that it doesn't have any data to display charts or whatever. But that is, of course, until I end up giving it some form of connectivity. So here, if you authenticate YouTube, right, and you re-authenticate yourself, give it your channel access real quick, follow this stuff, you can actually see right here, this will allow the vidIQ using the OAuth token, using the token that you're permitting it right now, to view monetary and non-monetary YouTube analytics reports and then manage your YouTube account. So if you hit allow, it'll get the permissions to do that. Who knows whose code is exploited? Who knows whose token is being used for malicious reasons? This is just one attack vector that I'm pinning everything down on in my personal hypothesis.
This doesn't grant them complete control. Usually it's outlined when you accept one of these third-party applications that they will be able to see your analytics, your search results, your subscriber count, all of that stuff. It asks for all of that specifically because it is doing something with that information. And of course there's good reason for them to ask for that info, but in some of them, these permissions may go so far as allowing them to post videos on your behalf, post comments on your behalf. Not that vidIQ in particular is like this, but what it seemed to be with this wannabe friends comment is that people probably had one of those third-party applications hooked up to their YouTube account. Then when they interacted with this specific account, their account was then compromised through the token generated for the purpose of this third-party application in the beginning. Does that make any sense? So Logan, who is probably not a person at all, probably a bot or something, was commenting all over YouTube and hoping that people who may have had whatever third-party application that had permissions to YouTube that was clearly breached in security, this thing was hoping to find users that may have been hooked up to that application. While we have mostly been referring to the channel as Logan, it has also gone by other names, notably the name Tribby. He was experiencing crazy growth on his channel after posting all of these comments all over YouTube. And while a lot of his videos focused on gameplay, some of them would talk about his sheer growth. As you can see in the description box, he recommends to his viewers to use one of those third-party analytics services like I mentioned previously. I do think it's important to note that while I am giving my best understanding of the situation and what happened, and I will never know because I never came into contact with the channel how it all went down, but there are people who say that this is just a big hoax and that while channels were being hacked, they had to have been clicking on some kind of external link and entering in their username and password. Once again, I don't know exactly what was going on, but I think it's important to show from all sides, especially since affected channels ended up looking like this, just pure spam. You can see before these videos that this was someone's personal YouTube account that then basically turned into another piece of this massive virus. It's genuinely crazy to think about the fact that responding to the most innocent comment of all time, wannabe friends, which is something that I think a lot of smaller creators might comment on each other's videos normally. I know that when I was coming up on YouTube, I was definitely looking for friends, and so it wasn't that weird to make friends with other creators around the same size as me. Also, who couldn't use like a nice new friend? And Logan seemed like a nice normal person. But if you even interacted with this, you ran the risk of your account potentially becoming another one of these puppets that just grew and grew and spiraled. Like I said before, this isn't really as prevalent anymore. You're not hearing as much about the wannabe friends comment or people's accounts getting hacked as you were a few months back. But the best way to keep your account secure is to always have two-factor authentication on. I have that for literally everything. To mind any applications that do have access to your accounts, and this doesn't just go for YouTube. There are so many apps and applications that you can hook up to Twitter, to Facebook. For example, when you have a Spotify account, mine is linked up to my Facebook. And Spotify certainly isn't an issue, but you may want to like audit all of the things that are connected to your social media accounts just to make sure that nobody you don't want having permission to your stuff has permission to your stuff. What do you guys think about this? I know this is a little bit different for my channel and not really something that I normally talk about. Usually it's horror stories and ARGs and not necessarily very techie related things, but there is just something so deeply sinister about the entire Logan saga. Have you seen any comments like this? Have you heard about this situation before? And Logan, if you're watching, I'll save you the effort. I don't want to be friends. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love you guys very, very much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!